Wow. Shout out to Melinda, Michelle, Don Ward, thank you. And anyone else who may have sent me this story. Look on the screen. Evil Dusty and Dustina. Oh my gosh. Beautiful child is gone. I don't know how I'm trying to figure out how the heck this went on so long. Let's go ahead and get to it. Gonna show the initial video, and then we may have a few more updates and a response from the family. It's like now it's gotta be like, I hate to say it, the worst time to have kids. And a lot of people that shouldn't have kids are having them, and the kids are being abused. Oh, they're also being murdered. So the kids aren't safe necessarily in the schools, in the churches, and not even there. Not safe to walk down the street. And many aren't safe in the home. That's where it all goes wrong. This right here, they deserve the onesie. 1, 2, 3, ABC felony. They should have had that on when they were born. Having kids here and deserting them. And now one child is murdered. Let's go ahead and get to it. Let me show the initial video and then we'll get to the update. $1 million bond, I say bravo. So here is the mother, fair use. They've been arrested. I don't know how in the heck they have the children in an apartment, limited food, and they were someplace else. I guess they don't want to be bothered. And plus, they had a report of a decomposed body inside one of the rooms in the apartment where the children were left and abandoned. Fair use.
And her boyfriend are under arrest tonight in connection with a case of 3 boys left abandoned in an apartment with the remains of their younger brother.
This is our first look at Gloria Williams and Brian Coulter, both facing multiple charges. And tonight, we are learning more about the little boy who had been dead for about a year.
Lauren Tallarico is live at the jail with the update on this awful, awful case. Lauren?
Lena, Mia, we now know that the boyfriend is charged with the murder of this little boy who we now know was 8 years old at the time that he died. The mother is facing several charges here, including injury to a child by omission and tampering with evidence. In this case, a corpse. Now, there are a lot of questions, like how did these 3 children live for so long, allegedly abandoned, while their brother's remains decomposed in the next room? Here's what we've uncovered so far. Here's a look at Brian Coulter and Gloria Williams, charged in connection to a case that has shocked so many. It was this past Sunday that a 15-year-old boy living inside an apartment off Greencrest Drive called the Harris County Sheriff's Office asking for help. He said he and his 2 siblings, 11 and 7 years old, had been abandoned here in the same apartment where his 8-year-old brother had been dead for a year. Alief ISD confirms the children had attended the district but hadn't been in school since May of 2020. They also say their mother, Gloria Williams, was listed as the sole custodian. Investigators say the surviving children were malnourished when found, surviving off food the mother would occasionally bring over. And neighbors we spoke to said they had given them food too, but had no idea how bad things were inside that apartment. CPS says that tonight those kids are in foster care. As for the skeletal remains of that 8-year-old boy, the medical examiner lists the cause of death as homicide, citing multiple blunt force injuries.
Oh my God.
We are expecting the mother and boyfriend to be in court over the next several hours. Of course, we will keep you updated.
Now let's go ahead and get to the update. I want to say this. Sometimes we all grow up, in a little bubble. And I think my dad had us kind of sheltered to a point. And you stop and you think, you're like, oh my goodness. I've seen my parents' friend, an attorney, growing up, handle drug cases. And you're like, these people are just It's against law. This is stupid. They're selling drugs. No, that's really bad. It's just a bad decision. And you get older, and everything is not so cookie cut. Everything is not so black and white. And I looked at this situation here, and it made me think. Imagine the two parents on the screen, gone and abandoned. And you're a teenager. You need food. What the hell are you supposed to do? Starve to death? You go out into the universe, out into the streets, begging. Next thing you know, somebody might offer you, oh, hey, I'll pay you. Go and do this for me. Or drop this off, little homie. Now that child is a drug mule. Yeah. Now the child is a drug mule. Why? Kind of need to survive because their freaking parents have deserted them. People that shouldn't have had kids, but just had them full of hell of it, being careless, not thinking, don't plan a darn thing, don't react, just do. You don't want to be a parent, get your birth control on freaking lock. And that's for the men and the women. So you think about it. Next thing you know, that child is abandoned, need food to feed themselves or other siblings. They're forced into a horrible situation. And now you got you a little drug dealer. Might be the only life he knows. Now, that's not the case in every case. But I thought about it. Yeah, I can kind of see that happening. Abandoned. Now you got to feed your siblings. What do? Quit school, get a job and do what? They got to eat today. They don't have time to wait 2 weeks till a check comes. Got to eat like freaking today. Utilities. Why? This on the screen, unfit parent. Unfit parent. Kids don't ask to be here. And I'm sure if that were even possible, they wouldn't choose some of these POS parents that they have. They would definitely choose someone else. Kids don't ask to be here. So that's the part that enrages me. And then you look up, they don't have a fighting chance. Why? Because the foundation was plucked up. It was messed up from the beginning. Messed up from the beginning. Building a house on sand, it won't stand. And that's what we're doing. That's what's happening. And then you wonder why they become so heartless, and the stealing and the killing. It started somewhere. That onesie, raised to be 1, 2, 3, ABC felony. That's the trajectory that some parents are putting these kids on, and some of us don't want to freaking face it. Don't want to face it. So yeah, Denzel Washington made a point about it. He was saying the school to prison pipeline starts in the home. Oh, and the BC was mad at Denzel. Think about it. Think about it. This right here, parents like this here, derelict, evil, non-caring parents. Oh, I need a break. I'm tired. I saw that on Cynthia G show yesterday. Some guy on some show, and he's like, oh, he's taking a break. He has to go away to Arizona or someplace, and he sent his wife money. They had 4 children, and I'm like, are you taking a break? If anybody probably needs the break, it's probably the wife, because she has to birth them and do most of the raising by herself. But you, with your cheating behind, you need a break? Yeah. In a marriage, and especially being a parent, in parenting, you don't get a break. You don't get a break. So this right here, that onesie starts in the home. Look at the foundation they set up for these children. Look at the foundation, the mental torture, the drama. These kids know what it's like to be abandoned. Let's go ahead and get to this clip here in reference to Bond. But that onesie is straight up and down. It's legit. 1, 2, 3, ABC felony. Is that what you're raising? Here we go. Fair use.
has really captured national attention. A mother and her boyfriend are now facing charges in connection to 3 children found alone with a decomposing body. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Gutierrez.
And I'm Dominique Soxa. Investigators say the children had been living with their brother's skeletal remains for nearly a year. 35-year-old Gloria Williams is now charged with injury to a child by omission. And 31-year-old Brian Coulter has been charged with murder. He's expected back in court tomorrow. Our Michael Lepardi live at the courthouse downtown tonight with more. Michael?
Dominique, today the sheriff said that the case was too horrific or seemed too horrific to be real, and several relatives of the mom spoke about what they did and didn't know. Days after deputies found 3 children abandoned in an apartment with skeletal remains, several relatives of the children's mother spoke with KPRC.
As far as we knew, she moved out of that apartment complex because the last place we seen was the other apartments that she and the boyfriend were at.
Yasmin Craig says she's the cousin of Gloria Williams, who's now charged with injury to a child and tampering with evidence. Williams' boyfriend, Brian Coulter, is charged with murder for the death of the 8-year-old boy.
Personally, I do want to ask why. Why didn't you reach out to us?
Yasmin says she last spoke with Gloria in June and that the family would ask about the children.
You kept saying, okay, they're good, they in school. Anytime we did go help, where the kids at? How they doing? Oh, they in school.
The sheriff says the 15-year-old called deputies on Sunday, telling them his brother had been dead for a year and his body was in the apartment. The teenager also said his parents hadn't lived in the apartment for months.
The kids deserve justice and they need help. They need the physical and the mental help to get over this trauma and put them back on a right track of life.
The mother and the boyfriend are now behind bars. The courthouse is just behind us here, and the boyfriend is scheduled for a court hearing tomorrow. Reporting.
So, she was lying to the family, obviously. And I'm going to say this here, and some people may really be offended, especially some of the females. They kept asking about the kids when she was lying there in school. Did it ever occur to anybody to maybe go to the house after a while you're not seeing the children? To say, hey, I'm going to go over there in the PM. The kids are in school, okay. What time are they out of school? Do a pop-up visit? Did it ever occur to anyone to do that? And I hate to say this, a lot of times people don't want to be bothered. They may say just checking on them. But if you have an intuition that something is wrong, nobody decides to maybe go over there at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night and check on those kids. Just do a pop-up visit. Seriously. But I know people have their own lives and, we checked and blah, blah, blah. And maybe they didn't want to deal with her as, they weren't as close as they may want to portray. But that's my whole thing. Did anybody decide to go over there and check on them? If she has said, ladies, man, I got the hookup. I know this guy, and he's, he used to work at a designer handbag. Man, I got the hookup. I got some free stuff y'all to look at. Some free clothes, free purses, free shoes, free Jimmy Choos. Maybe some free hair, what is it, rimming? I bet they would have been paying more attention then. And I know that sounds a little self-absorbed, a little cynical, but yeah. You wouldn't have said, oh, well, he's going to come next week. I bet you would have been checking then. Hey, this guy, he used to work at a store and he had a whole bunch of scratch-offs. Really? Scratch-off, lottery tickets. Man, he's got a whole bunch of them. I bet somebody would have made their way, not just to call and say, do you have those tickets? All you have to say is that you have the tickets. I bet you a dime to $1. Somebody would have rolled up over there. Girl, what are those tickets? Where's the hookup stuff? Oh, Jordans? Really? Nikes? Or verbal, they would have been, oh, no. I'm going to come over there tonight. Or they just would have popped up. Why? Because it was important. it would be important to them. But nobody popped up for these children, and the neighbors are feeding them. Nobody popped up for these children in the family. The neighbors were feeding with it. So that right there, why is that? Is it because they weren't as close as they were? Were they so busy, wrapped up, and I understand, in their own family, their own children? Or B, they got that lousy excuse, oh well, those are her kids. I did check on them and that's it. In the words of Nelson Mandela, you can tell the soul of a community, and I'm not stating verbatim. You can tell the soul of a community by how it treats its children. It's like it's a bad time to have kids. Because kids today, they are suffering. They are just being exposed to drama and trauma. And murder, death. So I wonder if he's the one that really, I think, yeah, you deserted your children, and both of them left. I don't understand how they maintain the smell of a decomposing body for a year. I can't comprehend. So they put these kids here. This happened, those kids, and for this to happen for a murder, man, trust and believe, the rest of those kids have been abused. Dusties and Dustinas, they bring drama, trauma, financial implication, too much dust in the nation, and now the kids are in foster. And foster care is not a dream. Sometimes they're abused there as well. So yeah, so what are you raising? What are you raising? 1, 2, 3, ABC, felony. Y'all seen the onesie. Feel free to come, like, subscribe, and share. This story is heartbreaking. I just hope and pray that some loving people can get a hold of those kids and try and correct the wrong that has been inflicted on these kids. They deserve better. So if you don't want to have kids, Justinas, do us a favor. Drop that little onesie wardrobe and, baby, get on some serious birth control. Please, I beg of you. Do yourself a favor, do society a favor. Stop putting lives here. You're basically birthing ruined lives, ruined from the gate. Why? Because they come from a person of self-hate. I'm out.